Hello everybody, welcome to Tom's dreamshopworx. Today we're going to be working on a Yard of the Month sign for my parents' neighborhood. Actually a remake, I made the first one about 15 years ago. First up, stock preparation. We're using cypress for its water resistance properties. Nothing too fancy. Cross cut to width, rip to clean up the edges. Do take it to the joiner. Make sure I have a good flat edge. And do a standard glue up here. I don't show it, but I did run it through the planer very lightly after the glue up to make sure everything was nice and flat and get the squeeze out off. Yep, the first one was too short. Here we go again. Clean up the ends. Sand it smooth. Get ready for it's a Milescraft router jig set that I'm using here. It was kind of fun finding all the letters I need. Kind of like a needle in a haystack here. You can see in the picture there the original sign. I actually made that about 15 years ago, maybe close to 20, out of a piece of redwood. I actually had just done white lettering and a clear coat. At some point they painted it red and re-lettered it and stuck a piece of aluminum on top because they were pounding it into the ground with the metal stakes that just stuck up into the middle of it. Unfortunately, it didn't fare well on that, so I've come up with a different design for mounting this new sign. If you watch this part carefully, you can see that it's flexing pretty badly in the middle, and it actually ended up messing up a little bit of the lettering. Once I realized it, I just shorted up with a little brace, and that seemed to fix the problem. Just lining up and centering for the bottom letters. Get everything set and lined up. Gotta figure out the spacing. And back to routing. This is my GoPro. Try to have some fun here with some different camera angles. You can almost feel the sawdust hit in your face, right? Another angle here. Same process. This is a small trend plunge router. Now watch this. This is actually a brush cap that fell off, and of course the unit lost power. You can see it right there in the foreground there by the letter F. Unplug the unit, screwed it back in, grab the screwdrivers, tighten it up, check to make sure the other side was tight, and get back to routing. That's not something that happens every day. Alright, all routed. Cross cut to final lengths, evenly on both sides. And I want to do a little notch in the corners. I came with this little jig to help me drill right into the corner. And since I couldn't reuse the jig after the first corner, I just popped the piece up, moved it over to a fresh spot, flipped the board over to the next corner, rinse and repeat 2 more times, and I had these little notches cut out, which are decorative. Used a small cove bit here, a 1/4-inch cove bit, to route a little detail. You can see it's the same in the original sign there off to the right. Similar design, it looks nice. I'm not going to be painting the exterior on this one. It is going to be black lettering, as you can see here, and then just clear coat on top. I had seen a few other this way and liked the way it looked. This is a flat black paint that I'm using here. Painted the edge. Obviously not too worried about over. It looks kind of funny here. But the belt sanders are going to clean that up. I think I had about a 60 grit on here. Even with the dust collection, that makes a mess. Actually took a little longer than I thought it would take to get the paint all off, but it did end up working even with a fairly aggressive 60 grit. I think I went up and did 120. After that, cleaned out the letters, and then I go to a random orbit sander to do the finish sanding on it. I won't bore you with how long this all really took. Alright, it's ready for finish. Next up, the stand. This is a 3/8 inch rebar that I'm cutting into pieces here. I'm actually going to have the sign separate from the stand. So the stand will be placed in the ground first, and then the sign will be placed on top of the stand. Hopefully this will eliminate the problem of the past of them pounding on the sign. Did a very dull point on the end of the two vertical pieces. There'll be two verticals and two horizontals. One that they'll step on with their foot to push into the ground, and then one at the top that the sign will slide down and sit against. A couple of coats of green spray paint to protect it, and it was good to go. Definitely not a professional welder. Here's the back. A couple of pieces of 1/2 inch copper with end caps soldered on, screwed to the back of the sign, then the sign just slips over the rebar to hold it in place. Hope you folks like this. If you would, please give it a thumbs up, and if you're not already subscribed, it'd be great if you did so. Have a good day.